What's up, guys? We are back with yet another tier list video, 2 in a row. I don't think I can make any more tier list videos. I'm really, stretching my ideas out quite thin until either Anime Defenders or Anime Vanguards updates, whichever comes first. But for now, we are going to be doing a traits tier list for Anime Vanguards. So I've compiled all of the traits into this tier list. And we have the tiers S for meta, so this would be the best of the best. We have A tier for very good traits, B tier for decent traits, C tier for, traits that aren't that good, and then D tier for traits that are pretty mid. So we'll just, we'll scramble it up a little bit. I think that's good. So we'll start it off with Fortune. Now, Fortune, units with this trait will earn you more money or reduce costs. So units with this trait receive 20% more gold. Non-farm units with this trait have 10% reduced cost. So this is basically like, I'll put this in decent. You basically want this on all of your farm units. There's literally only one farm unit in the game, so you want this on your Speedwagon. It just means more money for you. If you get this on a normal unit, it's not the end of the world. It does make them look pretty cool. It changes their entire appearance into gold. But there are a lot better traits that you could be using on your DPS units instead of Fortune. Don't get me wrong, the reduced cost is nice and all, but it's really just middle of the road in terms of actual, use cases for DPS units. It's like the best thing to get on Speedwagon. Other than that, it's not that good. Next up is Swiftness. Is that what it's called? Swift. Yeah, so this just gives you faster SPA. If you get Swift 3, it's 12.5% SPA reduction. So I'll put that in C tier. This is a common trait, so I can't in good conscience put this above like any other legendary or mythic traits. So for a common trait, it's not that bad. And before I finish making this tier list, I just want to, full disclosure, there is no bad trait in this game. No matter what, it's always better to have a trait than to not have one, because you don't lose anything for having a trait. So any unit that has a trait is good. Any trait is fine. But I'm just ranking which traits are the best of the best. But that's not to say that you should just never try to get a trait on your mythic units, because that'd be pointless, right? Every single trait is beneficiary to some degree, some more than others. And Swift is C tier. Not that good, but it could be worse. It could be D tier. Next up is Blitz, I believe it's called. So this just gives you a 20% SPA reduction. This is very good. No matter what the unit is, apart from Speedwagon, this is going to be universally useful. You can have this on a support unit like Crocodile, Sasuke, Pain. It'll make them attack a lot faster. They can, apply their debuff or slow ability faster. You can have this on a DPS unit like Song Jin-woo or Igris or Obito. It doesn't matter what DPS unit it is, they're going to be attacking a lot faster. They're going to be getting more damage in. It increases their DPS, which is very, very good. I mean, that's why this trait is as rare as it is, because it's just pretty good all around. Next up, we're going to put Scholar in the B tier, right below Fortune, because Scholar is pretty useful. It buffs the, units with this trait gain 50% more XP. That's cool and all, because you want to get your units to max level, because the difference from a level 1 to a level 50 unit is literally night and day. But at the same time, once you do get that unit to level 50, this trait is essentially useless. This is the only trait in the game that becomes useless after you get a unit to max level, because all the other traits will at least do something. This will do absolutely nothing for you once you get to max level on your unit. And getting max level on a unit isn't even hard. You can macro overnight the double dungeon map. You don't even need good units. You could do it with epics and legendaries if you wanted to. You can macro the story mode overnight, get a bunch of food materials, and just max out any unit that you want without having to actually do anything. So Scholar is nice. It's a nice little quality of life thing to get more XP. And something that a lot of people do, myself included, is I'll roll on a unit that's level 1, like on a mythic unit that I want to level up. I'll try to roll on it until I get Scholar, or if I get something good, I'll keep it. But usually I'll get Scholar first. I'll feed it all of my food items so it can get high level, and then I'll roll off of it immediately, because it just serves no use to me after my unit is max. So it'll go in B tier. Maybe there's a case to be made for it going on the top of C tier. Actually, I'll put it in the top of C tier. because I really don't think it deserves to be in the same league as Fortune. Yeah, I think top of C tier. Like, bottom of C tier. Because the more I think about it, once you get a unit to max level, what use case does this serve? It's good to get that extra XP, don't get me wrong, but it's not like leveling up units in this game is hard anyway because macroing exists. So, for now, I'm just going to leave it in C tier. Next up, range. This is going into mid. Reason being, yes, more range is good. I think if you get range 3, you get 15% more range, which actually isn't that bad at all. But, you know, in this game, range isn't really the key stat that you want to prioritize unless it's maybe a crocodile or a pain. And then having extra range on them would be good because they're support units. Or if you have a Haruka, she also buffs your unit, so more range on her would be pretty good. Still, I'd say out of the common traits, this is the worst one. So that's why I'm putting it in D tier. Next up is going to be, what is this one called? Deadeye. Units with this trait have deadly accuracy. They will gain critical chance and critical damage. So you get 30% crit chance and 50% critical damage. I believe all units in this game have a chance to crit, but Deadeye just makes that 10 times more consistent. So I'm going to put this is going to be our first S tier trait. I honestly do believe this deserves S tier because critical damage is like, it's good. I believe it's like more than double your damage, or like 1.5, 2.5. I've seen crit, it's either above Deadeye or right next to it. I'm not too sure, but 20% more damage, that's already better than Vigor 3. 20% SPA reduction, so you already have Blitz. It's literally 2 traits in one, but it's better because it's 20% more damage. This is just good on any unit that you could think of. Even support units, this is good. Because like the buffs that it gives you are just really, really useful. And you get a little bit extra range, 5% more range. Very, very good trait. It's just universally useful, just like Deadeye. It's not like Monarch, where it is useful in every game mode, but it really only shines in a very, very specific section of the game. And then for the other parts of the game, it's good, but there are other traits that could do just as well. So I think I'll be putting Ethereal. Obviously, it's going to be an S tier. Every Mythic trait is going to be an S tier. Spoiler. They're Mythic traits. Why wouldn't I put them in S tier? But I believe Deadeye is better than Ethereal. That just might be my personal bias because I like Deadeye more. Ethereal might give more like total DPS if you really want to whip out the calculator and start crunching the numbers, but I don't really care. Like, this tier list is just an opinion anyway. I'm going to put Ethereal in S tier, not above Deadeye though. Last Mythic trait, Solar. Let me read the description for this. Units with this trait can see the stars. They will receive a great increase in range and a slight increase in damage and attack speed. So 10% more damage, 5% SPA reduction, 20% range. 20% range is actually pretty good. That's almost as good as Marksman. Plus you get more damage and faster SPA. I can't put this above Monarch though, I'm not gonna lie. Like, putting this above Monarch would kind of be crazy. It's the worst mythic trait in the game. And although it's very, very good, it's an S tier. I don't think it deserves to be above Monarch or any of the other traits in this tier list. Last but not least, Marksman. I'll put this at the top of B tier. More range is pretty good. 30% more range is actually really, really good. I have this on literally all of my Mythic units. Like, I think there's only a few Mythic units that I don't have Marksman on. Like, I just keep getting Marksman so often. But I'm not complaining. More range is really, really, like, convenient. It'll help you place your units in, like, very hyper-specific spots that can hit multiple parts of the track. And it's in B tier because it's decent, but I don't think it provides as much value or, like, sheer usefulness as the other traits in the up above. So, with all that being said, that is going to conclude my trait tier list for Anime Vanguards. After this video, I don't even know what I'm really just, like, pulling ideas out of my ass at this point, but I'm sure we'll find something else to make content on. And for now, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. Have a great day or night wherever you are, and we'll catch you in the next one.